Hey there, it's Dr. Becky Campbell. I want to talk to you today about mast cell activation syndrome, which is a very complex condition, but it's one that's becoming more well known. So it involves many different body symptoms, which can cause many different symptoms. So if you have random unexplained symptoms that no one can really figure out, you need to listen to this. So mast cells are in most of our body tissues, and their job is to help protect the body from injury, and they're involved in our body's allergic response. So when the body responds to threats or foreign invaders, these cells secrete things like histamine, prostaglandins, and cytokines, among others, which will increase inflammation. It will cause an increase in heart rate, and it even causes congestion. Now, these don't really sound like pleasant symptoms, but they are actually highly protective when our body is responding to a foreign invader, and they help our body to heal. So why mast cells play an important role in the response to things like allergic reactions, it's been found that these cells are closely linked to the development of autoimmune diseases and many other disorders. So we need mast cells to survive, but overactive mast cells can cause mast cell activation syndrome and can lead to a handful of symptoms. And more people are being diagnosed with mast cell. And part of the problem has to do with the number of environmental and food chemicals that we're exposed to on a daily basis. So that throws these mast cells into overdrive and can lead to some serious problems. The symptoms associated with mast cell activation syndrome are due to the large amount of histamine in the body as a result of the activated mast cells. So more often than not, there are other diseases associated with mast cell. So some of the conditions go hand in hand with mast cell, meaning that if you have one, you may be more likely to develop another. And these are things like allergies and asthma, autoimmune disease, anxiety, chronic fatigue, GERD, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is also known as EDS. It's a connective tissue disorder. And POTS, which is people with palpitations or heart racing and they don't understand why. So there are a lot of different symptoms to look for when looking for mast cell. And those are things like hives, swelling, flushing, gastrointestinal complaints, wheezing, shortness of breath, heart palpitations like I talked about, low blood pressure, anxiety, headaches, brain fog, fatigue, so many different random symptoms I see. And the diagnosis is a little bit tough. So the tests use like tryptase, plasma histamine, a lot of those can kind of come back weird or not positive, even if you have mast cells. So I don't really go by that. Some people do and some people don't. But the thing I really look for are those symptoms. And if I see those symptoms, and it's usually if I see someone who just has all these random symptoms that nobody can figure out, I really think that it's mast cell at that point. So the plan when trying to work with someone with mast cell is to first stabilize the mast cells. So that can require some medication, or you can use natural supplements like quercetin to help stabilize the mast cells. And it really goes based on the person and how they respond to things. Because a lot of the times, people with mast cells are so sensitive that they really can't handle supplements or a lot of things that actually needs to be used to help them get better. So that's something that we have to figure out. And then another thing is really the most important part is finding out what your triggers are. So those are things like heavy metal toxicities, gut infections, adrenal issues, food sensitivities. So we have to really do some investigating to find out what's triggering you and get everything stable in the body. So if this sounds like it's you and you have been trying to get help for your random symptoms, this is something that I do work with a lot. So there is a contact button at the bottom of this article. Just go ahead and fill out that form and we'll get on the phone and we'll talk about what's going on with you, and I'll let you know if I think I can help you. If I do think I can help you, I'll come up with a plan for you so that we can figure this out and get you feeling better. Thank you for watching this. Talk to you soon.